Hey guys, it's Kaz here, and today I am finally wrapping up October. So I've been meaning to do this video for a couple of weeks, to be honest. I just haven't. Every day I was like, oh, I'll do it today, and then I just didn't. So yes, we're doing that today because I want to get it out before I need to be wrapping up the November. So normally I talk about stuff in the order that I read it, but these are very grouped together, so I'm just going to talk about them like in groups instead. Side note, not the most read of any month, but probably my best reading month in terms of enjoyment of the books so far, which is really cool. I mean, there was some rereading involved, so we'll get to that. But first, because this is a little guy on his own, I read The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 6. This is Imperial Phase Part 2. So this is a series that I've been trying to read, get read, get finished this year. And I couldn't find this volume for a decent price because graphic novels are expensive, so I always get them secondhand. But my mum got me this one for my birthday, so I read it. I have the rest of the series now, so I just needed this one. And yeah, stuff was kicking off at the beginning of the last one, so then it was kicking off even more in here. And I've read the one after this, and then there's only one more left. So it's all getting wrapped up. What I will say is I'm definitely going to need to reread the whole series. Even though I read it this year, because I left a month or two or however long between volume 5 and 6, I definitely feel like I need to read all of them like in quick succession, because there's a lot that goes on in this volume. And did I understand it all? Probably not. But I enjoyed it. So yes, I feel like I will enjoy it even more if I read them all together and like my brain is on. But yeah, it was good. I normally show you some artwork in comics, but I don't want to do anything that's too spoilery because this is volume 6. So yeah, I won't even show you. Deal with it. So the next two things I read were both from the same series, and that is The Door of Smoke and Bone and Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. So this trilogy was on my 2024 TBR. If you watched a recent video, I've scrapped the 2024 TBR because I was slumping for like 3 months. I don't care about finishing it, but I did start this series and really enjoyed it. I am reading the last book at the moment, but I'm so glad that I put this on the list to like make me read it because I've been enjoying it so much. I had no idea about what this series was about going in. I just know that it was talked about a lot, and at some point I probably heard someone talking about it in a way that made me interested in it probably. But like literally no knowledge. And I really liked that going into it because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen. But I feel like from the first book into the second, there's a lot of difference. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to like properly talk about it, because the experience of not knowing what was happening was so good. But we're following one character in here. Well, you get little bits and pieces from other people, little like chapters from other people, but we're mostly following one girl in here. Her name's Karu, and she's living her best life in the human world, but also she draws these creatures, and turns out the creatures do actually exist. And she has like this weird other part of her life. And I don't really want to say much more than that, but also there's angels involved, so like monsters and angels sort of thing. But it's so good, and I feel like this book probably takes you in one direction of what you think's gonna happen, and then the second book is like completely different, but in a really good way. And yeah, like I said, I'm reading the third book at the moment and I'm really enjoying it, and yes, glad I read this series or started it. And the idea of actually finishing them, I was going to read them all in the same month, but one of the, or a few of the prompts for the readathon that I'm doing in November, low-key doing the readathon, some of the prompts fit the third book really well, so I decided to leave the third book for November, which I'm reading right now. But yeah, I feel like I've not really talked about much of this, but again, I don't want to say too much because the fact I didn't know anything going in, it was such a good way to go into it. It's really good. I really enjoyed the writing style. I gave it 5 stars, which is something that doesn't happen very often with me. So yes, imagine. But yeah. The last 3 things I'm going to talk about are all, again, connected. So let's chuck in a cat clip here and then we'll be back with the rest of the stuff. So finally, in October, I reread All for the Game series. So that is The Foxhole Court, that is The Raven King, and that is also The King's Men. I read these fancy editions. I got these fancy editions. They came in October, so obviously I had to read them in October. And it's just so good. I loved it. That's also partly why this October reading month was so good, because one of my favourite series ever. But Door of Smoke and Bone, I enjoyed that so much. But yeah, what can I say about this? It is a series that has got a lot of attention, to be honest, and I love the fact that it's got loads of attention because it's self-published and people love it so much that they like made a fancy edition of it. And yeah, it's about Etsy, which is made up sport, but it's like such a good sport that I would watch the sport and I feel like I know the sport even though it doesn't exist. It's about Neil, and it's about a crime family boss man, and everybody is dark and morally grey and none of the characters are likeable, and I love it. There's just like all the triggers in here, there's all of the bad shit, but also the good shit as well. And yeah, I reread it and I loved it. I reread the first 2 and then, that's wrong. And then I went on holiday, so I had to save it because I was not taking this fancy book with me anywhere. And then I read that one last, and it was so good. I feel like this whole video has been pretty incoherent. I've not really said much about anything, but it's just, October was a good time. I enjoyed my reading. I enjoyed these versions. Oh, that's a side note. I put in that thing with the requests for the separate book jackets, but I've not got them through yet. But also I don't care because I feel like all of the problems with this fantasy series, I don't know if you saw the drama, but there's like a bunch of stuff that's wrong with them, but it's all on the inside cover versions and I don't really care about that because I'm not going to put that out. So whether they send me it or not, I don't care because I love these so much. But yeah, I'm just chatting absolute waffle bags now. So was it worth waiting a few weeks for this video? Probably not, but deal with it because I wanted to put it out. So yeah, those were all the things I read in October. Like I said, not the biggest reading month, but I had a very good time with what I did read. I just enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, that's the best kind of reading month. Let me know down below what you read in October, or if you've read any of these. Have you read book 4 in this yet? Because this exists, The Sunshine Court, and I did put it on my TBR for this month, and I've not read it yet, and I'm still a little bit scared. Because, is it going to be good? I really hope it is. But yeah, let me know anything down below. That's what it's there for. Like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, but only if you want. And yes, I'll be back in a few days with another video. I wonder if I'm going to get any of my holiday vlogs out this year. We've got 1 month left and we've got 3 holidays. We'll see. But I will at least come back with something in a few days.